Hi, I'm Jeff, and welcome to another one of my videos where I take a look at all the new comic books coming out on either July 18th or 19th, 2023. And I ask myself the question, what one new comic book would I buy this week if I could buy just one book? As always, I want to try to get through this video as quickly as possible, but I do want to start off today's video with a little bit of a plea to all of you out there. First off, I want to thank my loyal viewers so much for your support. It blows my mind that I get as many views as I get every single week, and it's all thanks to you. I really appreciate your support of my content. That being said, I am considering not making these videos anymore. It does take a decent chunk of my time, and it keeps me from doing other things that I might like to do. So I'm considering stopping, but because of my loyal viewers, I'm hesitant to stop. So here's the favor that I have to ask all of you. If you want me to continue to make these videos, please hit the like button and indicate it there, but also go down in the comments, and if you would, tell me one thing that I do in these videos that you like, and one thing that you would like to see me do differently. They can be, you don't have to elaborate, you can keep it really short, but I'd like to get some feedback about what's working and what's not working, what you like and what you don't like. That will help me to decide if this is something that I will continue to do. Thank you all so much in advance for those of you that participate in this and help me with likes and comments. All right, let's go ahead and move forward with the content of this video. First, by taking a look back at my pick from 2 weeks ago, which was Swan Songs, issue number 1. And the question remains, was it a worthy and worthwhile pick to be my just one book pick of the week? And the answer is yes. Yes, it was. I read it. I really enjoyed it. It kind of reminds me of what is kind of a flaw with comic books, and that is comic books very infrequently have actual endings. The story is always one that publishers want to keep going forever, so they never finalize things. That's why an anthology series like Haha or Ice Cream Man or Swan Songs is kind of a nice change of pace. It was a nice self-contained single story. On its surface, very simple, essentially about the last day on the planet, and a son wants to go get a magazine for his sick mom. Very straightforward in premise, but interesting in what they show you of this world in its last day. It gets you thinking, it gets you feeling, and these are the type of things I look for in comic books. So I would say that Swan Songs was a worthy and worthwhile just one book pick. If you read Swan Songs, I'd like to know what you thought about it down in the comments. Let's go ahead now and move forward and take a look at the books that are coming out this week. Now I'm going to start off this list like I've started it off the past couple of weeks, and that is by going over all of the DC Night Terrors tie-ins. There are a handful of new number ones in this tie-in that actually I saw a post on my Facebook group. People were asking, what do you people think of it? The general consensus was, I'm really liking it. I'm really enjoying it. I might not be able to read every title, but I'm going to pick the main ones and the ones I like, and I'll enjoy those. But here are the ones that are coming out this week. First off, we have Night Terrors Wonder Woman, issue number 1 of a 2-issue limited series. We also have Night Terrors Superman, issue number 1 of a 2-issue limited series. We also have Night Terrors Punchline, issue number 1 of a 2-issue limited series. We have Night Terrors Nightwing, issue number 1 of a 2-issue limited series. And finally, we have Night Terrors Catwoman, issue number 1 of a 2-issue limited series. Some good stuff that seems worth checking out there. The next book I want to tell you about is another new book. It is called Hawk Girl, issue number 1 of a 6-issue limited series from DC. Here's the description. Soaring to new heights and battling new foes, Kendra Saunders the winged warrior, better known as Hawkgirl, has been one of the DCU's greatest heroes for a long time, serving as a member of both the Justice League and the Justice Society. But with the Justice League disbanded, Kendra decides she needs a fresh start and heads to Metropolis to begin a new life. That life is quickly interrupted by a mysterious villain with a powerful connection to the nth material that makes up Hawkgirl's wings and weapons. A brand new adventure with sky-high action, adventure, and intrigue begins here by Jadzia Axelrod and Amanke Nahulpan. Okay, so basically I mentioned this book this week for one reason. There's been a bit of casting news coming out over the past couple of days about James Gunn's new Superman movie, Superman Legacy. One of the announcements is that actress Isabella Merced will be playing Hawkgirl in the upcoming Superman Legacy movie. So, confirmed she will be in the movie, and if you're excited about that and interested in that, and you want to learn more about Hawkgirl, this might be a good opportunity to do just that. The next book I want to tell you about is another new book. It is called Harley Quinn, Black, White, and Redder. Issue number 1 of a 6-issue limited series from DC. Here's the description. Written by Chip Zdarsky, Leah Williams, Paul Scheer, and Nick Giovannetti. Art by Kevin Maguire, Natasha Bustos, and Tom Riley. The bloody brilliance of 2020's Harvey-nominated Harley Quinn Black, White, and Red deserved an encore, this time in print periodical. In this all-new miniseries, 18 short tales of Gotham's most unpredictable anti-hero unspool in black, white, and red ink because she's never seen the world in just black and white. In this issue, comedic legends, as they made us say that, Chip Zdarsky and Kevin Maguire team up to send Harley and Ivy deep into the heart of the Fortress of Solitude. Leah Williams and Natasha Bustos reveal Harley's teenage past as a high-flying gymnast with vengeance on her mind, and actor Paul Scheer joins co-writer Nick Giovannetti and artist Tom Riley to send former Joker sidekicks Harley and Gaggy Gagsworthy on a heist that's worth the risk. But can the pair walk out on their vendetta in 30 seconds flat when they feel the heat around the corner? Another long description from DC, and I'll say very little. Harley Quinn is a fun character, and these kind of black, white, and red, or redder kind of books, they can do a lot of things with them and have a lot of fun with the character. So it's a fun character and a fun medium, so I expect this to be a fun read. If you like fun and you like Harley Quinn, you might consider picking this up this week. And there's one in there by Chip Zdarsky. Chip Zdarsky is my second favorite writer. He's fantastic, so the Chip Zdarsky of it alone might be reason enough to check it out. The next book I want to mention to you is a new book. It is called The Last Ronin, Lost Day Special. It's a special, issue number 1 from IDW. Here's the description. A special one-shot set in the Ronin-verse. After the Last Ronin defeated Oroku Hiroto, master of the Foot Clan, New York City was free for the first time in more than a decade. But along with the newfound freedom comes a dangerous power vacuum waiting to be filled. And without a common enemy in the Foot Clan, various factions are vying to take control. Longtime resistance leader April O'Neil finds herself and her loved ones, including 4 small mutant turtles she and her daughter Casey Marie Jones are raising and training together, once again caught up in the battle for the soul of the city. When April takes the young mutant turtles with her on a supply run into the city, they become lost and must find their way back to the sewer lair or risk becoming collateral damage in the newest power struggle overtaking the streets. Old memories mixed with new realities as April and her 4 small charges race to get back home before it's too late. This title will be standard trim size, not the oversized format of the Last Ronin series. I mention this because I read The Last Ronin, even though I am not a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan per se. I'm not a hater, I'm just not particularly a fan. But I read it because I heard it was going to be interesting, and it was indeed interesting and entertaining. So the quality of it, I hope, will continue in this Lost Day special. In addition, the Last Ronin miniseries ended kind of teeing up more to come from these characters, and this is that more to come. This is taking place after the events of the Last Ronin miniseries. So if you are a fan of the Last Ronin, and if you are a fan of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, this might be something for you to pick up this week. The next book I want to mention to you is a new book. It is called The Deviltry, issue number 1 from Blood Moon Comics LLC. Here's the description. Back in the 1970s, a series of bizarre incidents occurred at what has since been known as the Deviltry. Beneath this ancient denizen, evil was wrought by a sick serial killer, calling upon forces most evil and dark. People were hung there, and bodies buried there, exhumed by the police. Overcome by superstition, some tried to cut down the tree, to no avail. Since then, it has stood in a remote section of a local park, left to its own devices, quiet in its eerie repose. Limited print run to only 1,500 copies. Okay, so the plot, the story alone of this Deviltry, in and of itself sounds interesting. Now, I don't know what's particularly scary about a tree, but the way they've kind of set it up is very, very interesting to me. Then you add on top of it that it's got one cover, and it's a Momoko, and it's a solid Momoko. Now I'm even more interested. And then finally, you tell me that this is an open order book that's limited to 1,500 copies, 1,500 copies in existence. Now I'm particularly interested because collectors might want to get their hands on this because it's gonna be pretty rare. So I would say if you see this in your comic book shop, it is a $9.99 book. But if you see it and you're interested enough, I might consider picking it up because I think your comic shop is probably going to be pretty lucky to have it in the first place, and you might be lucky to get it into your collection. The next book I want to tell you about is a new book. It is called Red Sonja 2023, issue number 1 from Dynamite. Here's the description. Following directly from the pages of Red Sonja number 0, the she-devil finds herself on the run, framed for murder, and with an unseen force tugging at the back of her mind. Join Sonja as she races to unravel the mystery of his master's voice. Written by Torun Gribnik and featuring art by Red Sonja superstar Walter Giovanni, this brand new series dives deep into Sonja's world, exploring the darkness of Hyboria like never before. And all this wrapped up in an amazing series of covers. Shannon Mayer, Jimmy Chung, Alan Kwa, Brian Hitch, Joni Brosas, Jenny Frizen, and many more, including the Dynamite debut of Bjorn Barons. So the end of that description basically gets to the heart of the matter of why I mentioned this title this week. I don't mention Dynamite books very often, but the covers for this one are pretty cool. No surprise. Red Sonja in general is probably pretty well known for its covers. So if you've ever wanted to check out Red Sonja, now's the chance. Pick your favorite cover and scoop it up and take a look. The next book I want to tell you about is another new book. It is called Moon Knight, City of the Dead, issue number 1 of a 5-issue limited series from Marvel Comics. Here's the description. The debut of the new Scarlet Scarab. Following the events of Moon Knight 25, exclamation point. When a young runaway is attacked by a gang of death cultists, he is left barely alive outside the Midnight Mission. But Mark Spector had made a vow long ago to defend the travelers of the night, and as long as a spark of life remains, his mission isn't over yet. Follow Moon Knight on his most harrowing adventure yet, as the Fist of Khonshu journeys far beyond the land of the living and battles across the mind-bending underworld known as the City of the Dead. Well, one thing we've learned recently, basically, is that Moon Knight's pretty cool. So, and I'm into cool things, so if you are too, you might consider checking out this miniseries. But what's really noteworthy about this miniseries is the cover of the, I don't know if it's gone by yet or not, but the woman with the gold wings going like that. This comic book is the first appearance in comic books of the Scarlet Scarab that we saw in the Moon Knight MCU Disney Plus series. Now, because the comic book appearance is coming out after the MCU appearance, I think that's going to hurt the spec on this a lot. Generally speaking, something comes out in comic books first, they show up in the MCU, and their comic book pops up on the secondary market. This is going the other way around. So I think maybe fans of the show will pick this up, and maybe they'll use the character more in the future, and there'll be a growing of the fandom of this character, and that'll help this book rise on the secondary market. But I don't think it's going to be meteoric in its value increase. So keep that in mind. But if you were a fan of the television show or you're a fan of Moon Knight and you want to check out more from these characters, here you go. The next book I want to tell you about is Blade, issue number 1 from Marvel Comics. Here's the description. Marvel's slickest vampire hunter returns in a brand new ongoing by Brian Hill and Elena Casagrande. True evil is patient, and a dark, ancient power has been simmering quietly for centuries. And when Blade himself is the one to unknowingly unleash it, Marvel's entire supernatural underworld will come out of hiding to demand he handle it, or pay a pound of flesh for his mistakes. Bloodbaths, blackmail, and Blade. You won't want to miss the explosive first issue of this new volume. Okay, so there's gonna be a Blade reboot movie at some point. They've been talking about it ad nauseum. It's gonna happen one way or another at some point. So that's exciting. I don't know if it'll do anything to the value of this comic book, but you know, if you want to know more about Blade, here's an opportunity right here. And bottom line for me, I mentioned this book because Blade is cool. Blade is a cool character. And if you've got room in your budget and in your time to pick up a Blade book because you think it might be cool this week, well, here you go. The next book I want to mention to you is another new book. It is called Scrapper, issue number 1 of a 6-issue limited series from Image Comics. Here's the description. Game design genius Cliff Bleszinski, I think I got that right, Bleszinski, makes his comics debut with critically acclaimed writer Alex DeCampi and fan favorite artist Sandy Jarrell. Blade Runner style action mixes with big emotions as stray dog Scrapper and his buddy Tank fight for justice against the totalitarian forces of a post-apocalyptic domed city. But when the fight comes to his home, Scrapper will face losing what's most important to him and gain a terrifying truth in the process. Don't worry, Mom, the dog doesn't die. When I first read this description, I was like, this sounds pretty intense. And then it gave me this in parentheses at the end of it, don't worry, Mom, the dog doesn't die. And it made me think, I think that's why they're telling this story through dogs as the characters. I think it's intended to be for younger audiences, which makes me think that the intensity of the story will be muted. So if you've got an older kid that maybe you want to introduce to comics, this might be the one to do it with this week, but I would flip through it first and make sure that it is appropriate. My last honorable mention for you this week is a new book. It is called Big Game, issue number 1 of a 5-issue limited series from Image Comics. Here's the description. The comics event of the summer is here. Okay, this is so top secret, we can't even show you the main cover because it spoils something massive. This must have been written pre-FOC because I do have the A cover to show you. Trust us when we say that this is going to be the comic book event of 2023, and it's not what you're expecting. Does the crossover really go that wide? Yes, it does. Big Game pulls together Kick-Ass, Kingsman, Nemesis, The Magic Order, and all the Millar World franchises in one special event. This must be ordered like crazy, it says. There's stuff in here I don't like. But the concept sounds pretty cool. Mark Millar is a good writer and a prolific writer, and it's interesting to think that everything that he's ever written is part of a shared universe that is now going to be together in one title. That's fun, and I'm a big fan of fun. They might be overstating its importance, but I think at the same time, to do something like this, you're going to want to make it big. You're going to want to make it important. You're going to want to make it exciting. You're going to want to make it good. You're going to want to put your best foot forward because you're going to want it to be a success. So I have a feeling that this could be quite entertaining for fans of Mark Millar and otherwise. So if you're in the former category, I think this is a slam dunk for you to pick up. And if you're in the latter category, there might be something there, so it might be worth checking out. And that brings us to the one book that I would buy if I could buy just one book this week. And I put that emphasis on there because it is absolutely a 100% personal choice. That book is Something is Killing the Children, issue number 31 from Boom Studios. Here's the short description. After narrowly surviving the duplicitype, Erica Slaughter must still reckon with the murderous Cutter in order to save the people of Tribulation. Separated from Dolly and driven by desperate rage, Cutter won't stop until she exacts her revenge on Erica. Well, I wore one of my Something is Killing the Children shirts today as a bit of a tip-off of what my choice was going to be. There are some other interesting books this week, but I always give you my pick as the one that I am personally most interested in and I am most excited about. And it's not always Something is Killing the Children, but it often is. And considering the fact that we haven't had any issues of Something is Killing the Children for a few months now, I'm especially excited about it. Considering the fact that this arc has been pretty good, pretty solid, pretty interesting with this Cutter story. So I'm excited about it there. And considering the fact that it is my number one favorite comic book in existence right now, that is another reason why I am particularly excited about this book. So for all of those reasons, that is why Something is Killing the Children, issue number 31, is my just one book pick for this week. If you have a different just one book pick for yourself this week, I'd love to know what it is down in the comments. Okay, once again, like I said at the beginning, if you like these videos, likes are appreciated by me. They encourage me to continue. And also let me know down in the comments one thing that you like that I'm doing and one thing that you would think that might be a room for improvement kind of thing. Be honest, I can take it. And if you haven't already subscribed and you're interested in doing so, I invite you to do so right now. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.